Hey everyone, Lyndon here, and today I'm taking you through my lap of the Nurburgring Nordschleife in the BMW M6 Vikenhorst. So as I come through Hudson-Bach into the complex of first turns, I really want to be careful. I don't want to push the car too hard, and naturally I want to be on the limits. You'll notice through the next few corners that I try to avoid the curbs as much as I possibly can, because the curbs seem to destabilise the car a lot. You'll notice I really do try to avoid this curb as I come out of the tight first sector and start to build up some speed. So coming into Flugplatz, I just want to dab the brakes a little bit because the car will be sent airborne, and then lift through the corner at about 220 km/h. So coming through Schwedenkreuz right now, I'm going to be at a high speed, about 270 km/h. I really want to slow that car down to the next long left-hander. As you can see, I send the back end out. You really are on ice in that corner, so do be careful, keep it around 240. So now coming through the next complex sector, the Fuchsrohre, I want to make sure that I'm tending towards the apex, but not overshooting it, because if I hit the grass at this speed, I'm right off the track. The next complex will be Adenauer Forst. So this is a slower speed sector. You can go about 80 to 100 km/h through this corner. Lower speeds in more understeery cars like the M6 I'm driving, but say in the Renault you can go a bit faster. Now into the early Metzgersfeld area, I mess it up a little bit by going too wide. Don't do that. Otherwise, just try and keep your car on the track, second to fourth gear, you'll be sorted. Shouldn't really get higher than that because you'll have to slow down for the 90-degree-ish corners, as you can see there. One of the corners where you can kind of extend the limit onto the curb, but don't go too far because you'll hit the wall and that's just not a good time. That corner you can also really just throw it in. Again, don't be too aggressive, this is the Nordschleife and it can catch you out on any mistakes. Now we're coming into Bergwerk. Now there are many corners that you can push the limits on in the Nurburgring, that is not one of them. You want to slow right down to about 110. Then just feather the accelerator as you go through. Through this fast sector, just brake as necessary. You can really feel the car through this sector of your experience. If you're new, then you might have brake indicators on. Use these, but don't believe them too much. If you can feel that the car is going to go into the corner, then you can stop braking and just prepare to turn in. Coming into the Carousel Section, this varies for different cars, it depends entirely on your ride height. In the M6, stability is a huge issue, so you'll see a huge curb coming up on the car's left. I try to keep off that as much as possible to build up speed. Then when I'm at a high enough speed, I just feather the carousel ever so slightly and then push right through to the final sector at Heracht. Now this final sector is quite difficult, you want to be in absolute focus, and if you can really feel the car then this section will be a lot easier for you. That's why I recommend going on the green hill in a car you are very experienced with. Now on this corner we can see a gravel trap appear. These are the corners where you really want to be careful, because the gravel here is really stopping. If you go into it, your car will be brought to an immediate halt, and that's your lap over. There are only two of these, one at the sector we just saw, and one just before the Carousel, which I'll point out when we reach. And here's the gravel trap I was on about. It's a bit difficult to see on this camera, but it's just to my car's right. Be careful, going about high second, low third, and then carry through the Carousel as you feel. Now, you can see on this footage that I am right on the limit of this corner here. You'll see me just about going to the grass, but not quite. In fact, I just about avoid it. That's me in mid-fourth. You want to be in low fourth gear for that, but again, push it if you know the car. So, there's not really much to say about the Duttinger Hurst straight. Just keep it on the track. So this sector here, there's not much to say apart from just go full send. So stay in 6th gear, thread the corners, and then as soon as you feel like you need to brake, just like those cone markers tell me to, hit the brakes, get down into 2nd gear, thread the final few corners, dab the brakes into the final, then power down up to the finish line. And that is one lap of the Nurburgring. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. See ya!